Hey everybody, it's Benjamin here at the Scented Art Fragrance channel, bringing you another beautiful fragrance. Let's talk about Roja Elixir. This is a beautiful fragrance. Before we do, why don't you help me out down below? Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and when you hit notifications, hit all notifications. But let's talk about this beautiful, gorgeous fragrance. Yes, this is called Roja Elixir. This is a gorgeous fragrance from the house. Y'all know that I give Roja fragrances a bit of a hard time. You know, I don't think that some of them are worth a lot of the money. You know, some of their fragrances aren't the most original in my opinion. You know, on and on. But this one I think is a really nice creation. For some reason, I feel like some of their female fragrances are kind of more well done. I don't know why that is, but I do really like this fragrance. Every lady I've let try wear this sample, you know, she's crazy about it. And I gave this one to my mom. I had to borrow it back for a second. It's almost completely gone. She's crazy about this juice. This is some gorgeous juice. It really is. Let's talk about the notes. First off, to my nose, you're definitely going to notice that there's a raspberry to this. I don't know of a lot of fragrances that have raspberry besides things like Tuscan Leather. And so really some odds and ends, some real fragrances that really aren't on the fresh fruity side. There's not a lot of them that really have focus on raspberry. And this raspberry is beautiful, guys and gals, ladies and gents. This is a beautiful raspberry to this fragrance. It really is. The peach comes through. I think the raspberry kind of overtakes the peach a little bit, but I love the smell of peach on a lady. I think that peach smells almost like skin-like and musky, and it's so inviting. It's a really beautiful smell. There are a lot of florals, and there's some other things to this fragrance. With the floral-wise, I get a lot of Lily of the Valley and Iris. Probably a little bit more Lily of the Valley than I do Iris. So there is kind of almost a little bit of this white floral aspect to this. Almost a little bit powdery. But there definitely are some citruses going on. This fragrance is happy, citrusy, bright, playful, and fruity. This is a dream come true. If you love fruity floral fragrances, this is one of the best I've ever smelled. I do have to say that I don't think that this particularly might be the most original creation. You know, this has a similar feel to me, almost aldehydic to Coco Mademoiselle. But, you know, it's not the exact same smell. This is brighter and fruitier and happier. Coco Mademoiselle has a little bit of that chocolate added to it. And it's a little bit more, I guess, reserved and classy. This stuff is just happy and fresh and you know, chipper. You know, this is some really nice stuff. Performance-wise, let's jump into that. I don't want to talk about the smell too much because I do like this. You know, in the dry down, you might notice a tiny bit of cinnamon. This fragrance isn't spicy, though. You know, a little bit of woods, you know, kind of ambergris-like. It starts getting a little bit, you know, a little bit modern in that almost like airy, musky nature. But it's very clean. It's a very nice smell. And it really lends to good performance. You know, this fragrance is kind of a 7-hour fragrance of sorts. You know, I tested it just a little bit on my skin, and I tried to figure out how long it lasted on other ladies. You know, sometimes I let, you know, I give samples, or I ask ladies to test fragrances for me. And, you know, this fragrance, you know, lasted kind of 7 hours or so. It is kind of bright and kind of citrusy, so it's not the longest lasting. But the projection, honestly, is really nice in the opening. Again, it's such a happy, happy fragrance. But you know, because of those citrus notes, the fragrance it's just not going to last as long. Citrus notes, you know, especially if they're more natural, they just don't last very long. That's the way things are, and that's how the aroma chemicals work. And it's kind of a shame, but it still smells good while it lasts. About 7 hours or so. I want to say projection is more on the average side of things. This fragrance actually has pretty good sillage. So again, when you walk past people, they're probably able to smell you pretty well. Projection is just kind of average, maybe slightly above average, and you're getting, you know, 6-ish, 7, you know, pushing the 7-hour mark. So is it bad? It does have bad performance. I think it's just all right overall. It's acceptable, even nice, but I don't know if I want to say it has good performance overall, but it's not bad. Anyways, compliment factor wise, this is one of the best universal feminine fruity floral fragrances, and that's also citrusy. You know, there's fruity floral fragrances, but there's, in my experience, and there's a citrusy, fruity fragrances, that there's not a lot of citrusy, fruity, and floral fragrances. This has got it all going on, and I think that this is going to do a lot of things right. I think it's going to, you know, touch a lot of bases or push a lot of buttons just right for a lot of ladies, and I think that this is a very universal smell. Just like Parfums de Marly's Delina, you know, it's a fragrance that captures the heart of ladies. This fragrance doesn't have the hype. If it had the hype behind it, you know, this fragrance would sell like hotcakes. People would love this fragrance, and people would talk about it all the time. You know, it's a good fragrance. There's no doubt about it. I think that this, if you're a lady out there and if you have the money, if you want something mass appealing, you know, if you're willing to pay that kind of money and you want something classy, if you want to tell your girlfriends, you know, they ask you what you're wearing and they're impressed and you're like, I'm wearing a Roja. And, you know, that kind of name with the brand. Roja's a pretty prestigious name if you're into fragrances and they know what they're talking about. So I think that that might sell this fragrance for you, you know, as far as compliment factor wise. Price wise, y'all know that this is kind of the sister, the female version for, and you know, kind of was launched alongside Roja Elysium for men, kind of being, you know, kind of a Bleu de Chanel kind of focused fragrance with a pineapple top for men. That one's a big top seller. It, you know, it sells like hotcakes and people love it. To me, this is kind of an adaptation to a fresher, happier, you know, maybe improved version in its own way to Coco Mademoiselle. So I don't think that this is the most original fragrance, and that's going to kind of knock it for the price. This is about a $300 fragrance or so for, you know, the Parfum Cologne or Cologne Parfum, however you say it. And there is a pure Parfum, you know, concentration, which is 400 or maybe a little bit more. So this is not a cheap fragrance whatsoever, but it's a nice one. You know, if you want a gift, if you have, you know, you're well-to-do, if you got some extra money and you want a gift for a lady, this is one of those fragrances that I think it's going to appeal to just about any lady out there, young or old, classy, or, you know, kind of a street gal. I think that almost anybody would kind of like this fragrance. It's really universal. It's really mass appealing, and that's not a bad thing. Sometimes mass appealing can be right, and it can be good. And, you know, we always don't have to go for indie or niche, you know, the most complex fragrances. Sometimes we want something carefree. You know, some people say dumb reach or smart reach. If you're a lady and you have this in your collection, you can just reach for this anytime, anywhere, and wear this 24/7 all year round and not really have to worry and stress about it. And you'll know you'll be always smelling beautiful. I think that's the appeal to this kind of fragrance. For me personally, in my personal opinion, it's a little bit heavy-handed on the price. I would think this fragrance, you know, is great for the around $150 for about, you know, $150, $175. I think that this would be a really nice fragrance, but for $300, I kind of would suggest that a lady could buy 4 or 5, you know, discounted fragrances on the, you know, on the gray market, and have 4 or 5 fragrances, or maybe even 2 niche fragrances that, you know, for $150 a piece, than just buying one of these fragrances for about $300. I think the price is a little bit egregious. You know, that's my opinion though. It's a good fragrance. I can't debate it. This is a really nice juice. Anyways, check this fragrance out. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about this fragrance? Have you tried it? Do you like it? Do you think it's worth the money? Do you think this fragrance smells like Coco Mademoiselle in the slightest? Am I crazy? What's going on here? Let me know in the comment section below. Before we go as well, if you want to help me out, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. When you hit notifications, hit all notifications. And I'll see y'all next time, my friend. This is the Scented Dark Fragrance channel, helping you smell good, helping you smell great, and definitely wear what you love. If you love this fragrance, please rock it. I know that you'll smell good. And, you know, of course, rock what you got. I'll see you next time, my friends, and bye.